Hello everyone and welcome to another video on Poppy Playtime. Now something very interesting has just been released from Mob Games and it was released on the 22nd of January. This video is called Restricted_Disappearance 06/18/1992. So this is a little bit juicy already and I'm going to react with it now with you and I'm going to give my final thoughts and talk about some of the things that I believe happen inside. Again, I don't know what happens as of yet, but we're going to do that now. I've just downloaded it and we're just going to have a little gander inside. I think and I hope from what I can see on the thumbnail, I think they're going to be teasing something to do with possibly Chapter 3. I do think some of the Project Playtime stuff is now done and they're coasting on that. So everything I think now is going to be related to the new chapter. Okay, so let's get to it. Again, I'll give you my thoughts and feelings on everything. Okay, let's listen in. Let's listen in. Hopefully the levels are good. Okay, dark road in a car.
We've got eyes on 1170. He's heading south along the utility vehicle route. Okay. What exactly do we do here?
Okay, give us a second.
Ooh.
We're gonna try and cut him off at the crossing up ahead. Keep him from getting onto public roads. Keep tailing him for now, and keep us updated.
So it sounds like he's on the loose. Okay, right. Experiment 1170 exits the facility through an open delivery bay door in the production wing. 2 staff members witnessed the incident and hit the emergency alarm. 10:30. So that's the 18th of June, 1992. And we all know 1992 is the year where it all goes south, especially with Mommy Longlegs and everything in between. I think it was the heyday is also in 1992. So that's an interesting coincide. So camera 41. That's also something to be quite aware of, because I think when it all comes to doing the ARGs again and stuff, like when they get closer, I reckon they're going to release all this sort of cam stuff again. So pretty much like they did with the chapter 1 and 2, not 1 but chapter 2. So we've got to keep an eye on that. So camera 41. I wonder if there's any correlation between the game there. So production wing. Okay, delivery bay door. I wonder what was going in there then. So are these like, oh okay, so it's just, yeah, okay, so we've got a few now. Oh, okay. Oh, that's interesting. Huggy out in the wilderness with the people. All available security staff and vehicles are mustered and begin pursuit of 1170. By this time, 1170 was estimated to have travelled half a mile from the facility. That's interesting. That is quite some distance. That is quite some distance in the radius from, of course, the facility of Project. Okay. They've got him. They've found him. I was going to say, that's quite a distance to make. And it depends on how big the area is that Playtime Co. own. So I wonder if this is going to be a normal factory area or if this is going to be a probably darker side of Project Playtime. Maybe Chapter 3 is going to be a lot darker this time around. Well, not obviously actually dark as well. Okay, so can we see him? There. Oh, okay, so he's attacked the car just full on. He knows, he's aware of who he's after, or it's just sort of like on sight he's going to get whoever he sees. Maybe as this goes further on, because this has got to be longer for a reason, right? So maybe as it goes further on, he's going to just eat whatever he sees, so like animals and stuff, or like whoever goes after him. So he is very animalistic at the moment. He is hungry, and he's getting whoever. Right, let's... Okay, that's interesting. There's an illumination here, which I just wonder... Okay, it might just be the gun flare, but... So it sounds like they're taking shots. Now, the question is it a bullet or is it a tranquilizer? Because what that will tell you is if they are actually panicking about it, and if they panic about it, they're going to shoot the bugger out of it to make sure it won't get back up. Or if it's such a valued asset, they will tranquilize it, bringing it back. But then that also makes me wonder why would you do that when it's already on the run? It's trying to run anyway. Anyway, let's see if there's any... Okay, so 10:38 p.m. the security team attempts to block and surround 1170 at the railroad crossing. That's interesting as well, because we have train tracks in chapter... we're going to have the train in Chapter 3, as well as, of course, Project Playtime has a lot of emphasis and use on trains. So maybe there is a connection from the actual outside world into the factory within train lines and stuff like that. So 3 rounds of tranquilizer darts are fired. There you go. So Huggy is a valued asset still at this point. So at this time in 1992, they must still be experimenting with these creatures and creating. And, you know, they obviously haven't got a handle on it yet, but they've maybe just got there with the Doctor's inclusion from Project Playtime. Maybe, I forget his name now, but maybe he's just sort of entering the project. It's just going to tip from here maybe. And 1170 is hit once in the left leg. 1170 manages to flee into the woods. Now that's quite interesting, because that means he must have such a dense body that one tranquilizer dart isn't enough. Now I don't know enough about tranquilizers off the top of my head. This would have to be a further research project, but that sounds like it definitely is a big boy if one tranquilizer dart doesn't do anything. So it's fleed into the woods. Oh dear, we're gonna get a slender version. I'm alarmed. I'm definitely alarmed. Let me turn up this a bit. Okay. Come on, give me one on. The security team splits into small groups. Big mistake. And continues after 1170 on foot. Okay, so we are in luscious woods now, and it's very slender. Oh. Body cam Blair Witch. Keep an eye out for any. There you go. Huggy's making his way. So interestingly enough, all this area must be under surveillance. Surveillance? All this area must be under surveillance from Playtime Co. So they must own all this land, which tells us they actually anticipate this kind of breakout. Think of it like a bit of a prison. They've got all this set up purposely. So of course, like I said at the start, the service roads and stuff, so they know this was going to happen at some point. They just wanted to make sure that they had all the area mapped and targeted, ready for it. Okay, so Huggy is making his way downtown. Okay, now this is interesting. The search area expands over 4 square miles, so we did make it quite some distance, into a nearby residential areas. Okay, this must be the residential area, this bit here. And also maybe here. Okay, so these are all mountainside. Okay, so they're very secluded. This is purposely. This factory must not be the main factory. That's one thing I will say early on. I reckon this isn't going to be the one that's on the marketing brochures and stuff. This is a dirty, secret factory where they do probably the darkest work. So this is 10 minutes or 20 minutes into... Okay, so they've got like nearly 3 hours. Or, wow, nearly 5 hours worth of time here. So it looks like this was the service road they were talking about. And there's the crossroad. So they've come down here. Huggy's attacked here. Got lost in these woods here. They've obviously come around this area. Come back up. Huggy's made his way all around here to this area, which I think is going to be the residential area here. So between this point and this point, what's going to happen? And I wonder how much of this area Project Playtime Co. Oh god, that is getting such a tongue tie. So I think it's all from this road onwards. So this must be the main road, government wise, and then all inside this must be Project Playtime Co's. Oh my god, can we get a counter for that, please? So this must feed into the actual facility, which is interesting. I wonder if the government knows about what they're doing. But this must be the residential, like, you know, a very outside the city type village, not village, but like a small residential area. So I wonder if chapter 3 again is going to be super dark, or there's going to be another spin-off game where they explore like kind of like that FNAF game where it's in the house and stuff. But I reckon there's going to be like an actual more horror focused version of Huggy Wuggy coming. Well, definitely a game from what this is. Again, I can't make out the names. That would be interesting to make out the names though. Okay, right. I should probably stop. Outside of our effective range, the security team's radios become unreliable. Okay, so they must. Okay, so they must have antennas around as well. Okay. Oh, there you go. What did I say? Huggy's on the hunt for some food. Okay, so Huggy's had a lovely moose deer sandwich. I think. Again, so the terrain's a bit all this. So this is in between the points. Okay, Huggy was right there. I saw blue then. Okay, this is gonna be. Oh. See, something interesting about this is they must have cameras like literally everywhere, and I wonder if we could spot them as we go. But yeah, I think the guy's going to have, or the girl's going to have a little bit more to deal with than that. There you go. I've heard a slight small twig snap. Yeah, there he is. Huggy hungry. Hashtag justice for Huggy. Okay, yeah, Huggy is in that absolute like animalistic mode. He's going to get whoever he sees. And that was the case for that person. Oh, during the search, several of the staff are killed by 1170. Even more going. Okay. Okay, interesting. So the one thing to note here is possibly how they appear, as in the staff. So interesting. Oh, also side note, interestingly enough, Huggy hasn't actually eaten. He's just took a bite, so a lethal bite. So he actually knows the difference between consuming and fighting off people, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think you get what I mean. So in this point, he's not actually consuming for energy. He is just attacking for, I assume, purpose. But interestingly enough, their outfits suggest that possibly, like on Project Playtime, there are people designed purposely for these roles. So they look quite camouflage, very army-like, and it must be a very, oh dear, very Predator-like. Yeah, that one's very blurred. Can't see that one, which is good. Okay, so total casualties: 5 dead, 6 missing. So, okay, 3, 6, 9. Okay, so there's only 11. So that is all of them. That is all the 11. So I wonder if we can tell. So we won't be able to tell who is actually dead. But interestingly enough, I wonder if these people are actually developers within Project Playtime. Oh my God, Playtime Co. and Mob Games, because I think that one has a background of the offices of Mob Games. So unless these are just pulled images, but again, they just look to be quite generic people, you know, doing the job. 6 missing. Oh dear. I bet the families have got a care package, surely. Oh, that was something else. That was something else. I'll tell you what I'm going to do in the edit, because I can't do it now. Obviously, I'll play it backwards, and if you can hear anything, let me know. But that doesn't sound like one scream. It sounds like 3. And they sound human. And one of the things you'll have to bring up with that is that Huggy screaming. Is that him interacting with people, perhaps, and maybe, you know, devouring them? And I don't know, there's something ominous about that. I don't like that noise, because I feel like Huggy is going to be a trap, as in, like, you're going to assume it's Huggy, but in reality it's probably an adapted toy that did break out for Chapter 3 and now was roaming the woods for years or whatever, since 1992 or whatever, because obviously this isn't the first breakout they've had, because they obviously have done this from experience. So I wonder if that is actually the hint at the new monster for Chapter 3. Again, it seems like it's going to take a lot darker turn this time round. I'm more for that, though. It takes nearly 4 hours, okay, 4 to 5 hours to really sedate. Okay, so they do sedate him in the end. Again, they have brought him back, which is interesting considering how much of a security risk it would have been for Playtime Co. Okay, so I can't... something agency, perhaps? Something agency, I'm assuming. How 1170 was able to access the ventilation system without security's realization is beyond me. Now, before I think Leif Pierre points any fingers, I think you have to look at Experiment 1007 for this. I think he is going to have a hand... I don't even mean that pun. Have a hand at doing something that led to 1170's escape. So I think this is where they might finally click about him as well. It is only blind luck that we found him before someone else did, and it cost us lives. The innovation department is not happy. I am not happy. Leif Pierre, Playtime Co., head of information. So a very stern letter in these trying times. Very formal, very corporate, isn't it? Okay. So that's super interesting. Super interesting that they shared this. 3:38 a.m. The day. Okay, so deep into the night, so early morning. Same year, same... Okay. So that house looks to be that of a residence. The lights are on. They're aware someone's outside. And of course, we can see Huggy here. But there's also something here. I don't know if you'll be able to see that well, but there seems to be legs, and a body. I don't know if that's just because of the grain. Might be the grain. But Huggy here looks very demonic and actually very scared. Like I said, this looks to be a bit more scary this time round. I actually wonder where this camera footage has come from, because they wouldn't be able to surveillance the residential area, so someone's got footage of Huggy outside the house. This person, whoever must have took this footage, either died, it's part of a car footage, like dash cam, or it's security, like a Ring doorbell for comparison. But someone has some footage of this. Now that's going to be also quite a troubling time for Playtime Co. if that's true. And of course I do believe it to be, because this doesn't look like anywhere they can surveillance, and of course surveillance would usually be higher somewhere up in the trees, whereas this one on the ground by a letterbox of some sort, and it's just a snap of Huggy. But the alarming thing I think we really have to think about is actually, in this game, how are we actually going to play this out? I feel like, again, this either is a spin-off game, which is going to be much more darker, or it's going to be a Chapter 3 indication. And I'm already kind of like fearing this idea, because dark roads, dark woods, small residential buildings, Huggy outside. I don't like that, Chief. I don't like it one bit. But yeah, so he looks super scary in this. But again, I just wonder where this footage has come from in particular. Okay, so that's the whole video. Let me know what you think. I know I went a little bit off track because I basically spoke about it straight away, all the way through it. It's just because I'm excited. Because this is like mad crazy, this footage. But I am super intrigued. Again, this seems to be quite... This is going to have to be something to do with 1007's doing, because there's no way they would leave the loading bays open. Can you imagine the countless times they would have done it? Yeah, and then again... Okay, so we know this shot was taken at 3:38 a.m. 3:38 a.m. So that would have been. So they sedated him. They must have sedated him as this footage was took. They must have done it at this point. This must be seconds before, or minutes before, or minutes after. But again, here we go. It says here 3:38 a.m. That's when they expand it into the search experiment, the residential areas. So, I wonder. It takes nearly 4 hours to really go. Okay, so this is when they knew he was off-site, basically. So it must have been after this. They must have went all hands on deck and sedated the shit out of him. So I think there's going to be a massive, massive moment in this area, which is going to take a lot of compensation for the residents and a lot of money for Playtime Co. Perhaps, again, this is where the downfall begins because of PR and everything like that. But yeah, it seems quite intriguing, this bit in particular. I'm very excited to see what's coming. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know what your thoughts and theories are. And if you want to see me go into a deeper dive with it, let me know in the comments below too. I think for the time being, this will be the only video I do about it until any more information on Chapter 3 is released. Because again, Project Playtime is its own separate game with its own little bits of story, and I do want to do a video on that at some point, but I'm working on some more ones at the moment. But I will come back to this sort of stuff, because of course this is getting really interesting now, very lore wise, and I'm really excited to see how Chapter 3 turns out. And again, let me know what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed this, let me know. Like this video, subscribe, do all the usual stuff, you know, support the channel. But with that being said, have a lovely morning, day or night, wherever you are in the world. Stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next Poppy Playtime theory video or analyzed. Bye.